who are you, really? And if I know the truth, will I still love you? That is the central question of one of the most compelling love stories in modern film. The very first Jason Bourne and Marie from the Bourne Identity. So Bourne didn't even know who he was. A man with no memory, a dangerous past, and a truth so big that it could destroy everything. And Marie, she fell for him anyway. So, this is a talk about how and what the relationship teaches us about love, about identity, about knowing the whole story, about why knowing the whole story isn't always what matters most. And yes, what that can teach us about Larry, the Harry Styles and Louis Tomlinson ship story, and how love survives when life forces you to live behind a mask. Okay, so Jason and Marie falling in love with the unknown in the Bourne Identity. So Marie meets Jason in chaos. He's not Jason Bourne, not really, because he doesn't even know his name. And yet they connect. What does Marie fall for? It's not his resume. It's not the truth of his past. It's the man in front of her. His kindness, his instinct to protect her, but he looks at her like she's the only safe thing in his whole fractured world. She doesn't need to know the whole picture to know what's real. That's the power of their love. It starts in fragments, but it's rooted in something unshakable. When the truth comes out, and then the cover comes off, Bourne learns who he is. He's a trained unaliver. The violence in his past, the secrets in his blood, all of it comes rushing in. And Marie, well, she doesn't run, because for her, the truth didn't change the man she loved. He wasn't just his past, he wasn't just his name, he wasn't just his cover. He was the person who made her feel safe in a world that was not. Marie teaches us this. You can know the worst of someone and the hidden parts of them and still choose to stay. So what does this teach us about Larry? So what does any of this have to do with Larry Stylinson? Well, for over a decade, Harry Styles and Louis Tomlinson have lived under layers. Fans of Larry Stylinson say that they've been subjected to PR stunting relationships, forced denials, the weight of fame, and the stories crafted by the machine around them. And yet, through all of that, there is a thread their fans believe in, a love that survives the masks. Like Jason Bourne, they've had to play roles, versions of themselves created for survival. And like Marie, we've seen how love can look past those roles, hold on to the real person and personas underneath, and choose them anyway. So you don't need to know the whole story to know when a connection is real. That is essentially why the Larrys are still here. And that's what makes this story so powerful. That you can live behind a mask and still be deeply, truly loved. So maybe the question isn't who are you really? Maybe the real question, the one that Marie answers in the Bourne Identity, is do I care who you were if I know who you are with me? So Jason and Marie show us that love doesn't need the full file, the full confession, the full truth to be real. It just needs presence, choice, and the willingness to stay, even when the mask comes off. And maybe that is why the Larry story resonates so deeply. Because we know that beneath all the noise, all the covers, all the survival, all the stunts, there's a connection that does not need explaining. So, what other love story arcs are out there that teach us about seeing beyond the mask, and how does that help explain the enduring power of Larry Stylinson? So, what do you think? Now, the last time I think the last video I did something with the NCIS connection, how that arc, the Tony and the Jean arc, have a lot of very helpful lessons in understanding the closeting of Larry Stylinson and why the fans rally around them. You know why there's like a whole culture around them, because the fans, especially the veteran ones, have seen all these incarnations of, stunted relationships that follow the formula that was in that podcast I referred to, where there was an entertainment lawyer and a Hollywood publicist saying, yeah, they've orchestrated these public relationships, and they've put the contracts in. I mean, it is part of the business, and it's about matching brands, brand extensions, putting together two personalities that could really sell a film or a project. So that is that serves a business need, and unfortunately, it's one thing when you do it to kind of adults, like people in the 25 and up, 30 and up crowd. It's another thing when you do it to very young people, and basically at the onset, a 16 and 18-year-old. And so I kind of want to pivot us a bit slightly as to why I kind of worry about Harry Styles, because there was a video that was, oh God, when was it posted? It was posted in the last couple of days by Sloan. I love Sloan's channel, by the way. Love it. And I will pin it in the comments. I love his analysis. I mean, I think Sloan needs to get his own show and go mainstream, like beyond YouTube. But anyway, the video talked about kind of this 5-year-old rumor that it's interesting what you pay attention to, what you don't pay attention to. But there's been an ongoing rumor about Harry Styles having an affair with George Clooney, and it's pretty extensive because there's always these like celebrity rumor drops where they don't name the celebrity, and they kind of they give enough for the fans to figure it out without saying the name. And this has been something that has been also has been parallel existing is this George Clooney and Harry Styles, and then there's also this George Clooney is best friends with Randy Gerber, who's married to Cindy Crawford. And then there was a period of time when Harry, in his early 20s, was really hanging out a lot with Cindy Crawford and her husband. And then suddenly was not hanging out. Like, go watch the Sloan video, because it's like, oh my God. And then Sloan has talked about yachting, which is, that's a real thing too. So closeting, yachting, totally real. But it talked about how Harry kind of is in the last couple of years, like since One Direction went on hiatus, we don't have any public photos of him with Louis, but we have a lot of pictures of him hanging around a lot of friends that are older men. Now, on one hand, maybe he's an old soul, but between him going to like Richard Branson's island and then Harry hanging around with James Corden all the time, and then this George Clooney thing, and there is something that gave me the creeps. And I have said for a while now that there's something about Harry's eyes, that the the glow behind those beautiful emerald green eyes, the glow's not the same. And there's kind of a lot of comments in the comments section here. There's been people talking about Harry and worrying what may have happened to Harry beyond just the effects of the closeting and all that stress. Because when I see Harry now, I see a young man of 31 with the weight of somebody that's 80. And I'm not exaggerating, but something has happened in his eyes, and in the eyes, the mirror to the soul, which makes me think that there's been some experiences that he's had, and because of the way he was commercialized so young, more so than the other boys, it genuinely makes me worry that something's happened to him. And kind of like, if anything, in the Diddy trial, the music business is really shady. I mean, it took Homeland Security raiding Diddy to stop it. Like, that should tell you something. Anyway, more to follow on that one.